Welcome to Control Flow Solutions. So we have two tasks here. The first one is control flow with dictionary, which here we have as D1. And we've got two keys, K1 and K2. And we have the var, which is for the inputs. Okay, so all we have really is just 4 lines of code that we need to fill in. And if I just scroll down, I've taken the liberty to copy and paste this code into an empty cell, which you can see down below here. And we want these two desired outputs that we're going to be generating in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to be referring to the hints above. So number 1 is for the output control flow, check if var is in K1. So what we do is for the if statements, var in D1, K1, square brackets, and then 2, else if var in K1 free, so that's going to be for the elif. Okay, so what we do is var in D1, square brackets, K1, and then we do an index of free. And then number 3 is create an inner or nested control flow. What we have to do here for the first one is just do if, and make sure this is in alignment with the print and num here, so there's no indentation error. And then for the second one, it's going to be, of course, the else. Do else colon, and that should almost be it. And number 4 says you should have multiple outputs. That's fine. Number 5, add the in operator in 2 lines of code for the outer control flow. Well, we've already done that, so we've got 1 here and 2 here for the if and the else, the if and the elif. And then lastly, number 6, use the eval for one of the control flow statements. So it's not going to be for the var because we've already got an eval here, and that's for the outer control flow. And obviously we're not going to use the eval for the inner control flow because we're checking a string of, say, phone, computer, or robots within the nested list of K2. So it must be this one here. So we can actually do it on the num equals inputs, but we'll do it here, eval. Okay, so that should be fine. And then we want for the first outputs is enter a number 3, found you, enter a number 4, found another one, enter an item, car, can't find a car. Okay, so 3, 4, and car. So give this a try, run the code, 3, 4, and car. Great, so we have 3, 4, and car. Found you, found another one, can't find a car. And for the second output that we wanted was enter a number 4, where are you? Which is straightforward, 4, where are you? Okay, great. And what we're going to do is just a few more to see if the code works in totality. So we do 3, found you, let's say we do 4, and then we'll do, let's say, robots, got a robots. Okay, great. And lastly, we'll do, let's say, 100, can't hide. Actually, we'll do one more. Say we do 3, and let's say we do 34, can't find anything. Okay, so all of our control flow is working perfectly. And we'll move on to the second task, and that is control flow with only one if statement. So like before, I've taken the liberty of copying and pasting this code into an empty cell, and we've got a desired output here of enter a number between 0 and 2, so put 0 and 0 here for both the inputs, and then my meal is very hot, it's hot and very spicy. So I've got these hints here, and I'm going to be referring to them. So the first one is use only one if statement and an else statement. Okay, well, what we can do is just put the if and the else, and put some colons here. Okay, and then use the eval built-in function or method. So I think it would make sense to use the eval for here, and also for here as well, because it's asking us to enter a number, and we're also going to be doing indexing for these two lists, the cooked pasta and the sauce. So we'll do choose dish, and we'll do pick sauce. Okay, and then we have my meal is something and very something exclamation mark. Okay, and then for the outputs of the if statements, we're just going to have none. And then it says use the following operators, so and, or, greater than, or less than. So what we can do is say choose dish greater than 2 and pick sauce greater than 2. So it has to be between 0, 1, and 2. If it's greater than 2, then it will return none. And what we can do is place this inside of the else statements, otherwise we'll get an indentation error. So let's just give this a try. If we do, let's say 4, we don't get any output, it's just none. Okay, great. So I'm just carrying on with this. Or choose dish is less than 3 and pick sauce is greater than 2, and I'll just put a line here for a moment. Or choose dish is greater than 3 and pick sauce, or actually greater than 2 this should be, and pick sauce is less than 3. Now if I run this, it's actually going to cause an error. It's an indentation, well, syntax error. There we go. Okay, now this should work in totality. So what we want is the output of my meal is hot and very spicy, so 0 and 0. So give this a try. 0, 0. My meal is hot and very spicy. Great. Let's try a few more. Let's say 1 and 0. My meal is cold and very spicy. So for instance, if we do 1 here, we'll get cold, and if we do 0, we'll get spicy. Let's say we do something greater than 2, let's say 4 and 4, we get no output. And if we were to do, let's say 2 and 2, my meal is overcooked and very savory. So we have here 2 on the index overcooked and 2 here as well for savory. Okay, great. So that concludes my lecture on the solutions to this exercise. I hope it's been insightful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Q&A. Thanks.